hip hop artist out of Frankfort, Kentucky, and he's also calling on behalf of EA Loud. And to get into his music and EA Loud, I'm happy to be joined with the homie Sensei Nowa. He's with me right now. What's going on, man?
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you, bringing me on the show, man, right here in your backyard.
Uh,
So, man, let's just get this popping, man.
I like what you just did there. That was real nice, man. So as we were saying in the background, the first time we met was at Willie's, locally known for the Lexington Music Awards after party, and and Hybrid introduced me to you. I was aware of EA Loud and some of the people represents them, and y'all were
Right.
nominated for the Community Service Award. Congrats on the nomination, by the way,
We appreciate that.
and shout out to Hybrid, won the Best Hip Hop Award for the third year in a row.
Shout out
You
to the big man.
so we'll definitely get into EA Loud in just a bit, but focusing on you as an artist first. Now, this name, Sensei Nowa, very cool, interesting name. How did that name came about, man?
So, man, I'm a martial arts teacher, man. I was a martial arts teacher when I was in college, and I was playing football and doing the whole martial arts thing at the same time, man. Just trying to be physically active, man, because you got to be 10 toes down. I came up with that, because I hold a few black belts or whatever, and I ended up graduated. So when I'm out, a whole bunch of people was telling me, you got multiple degrees. I got a degree in college, I got black belt degrees. So it just came out just like that. Sensei Noah, man. The Noah part, man, it really came from my homeboy was always telling me, you know a lot of things, and you're always telling people, how to do things, man, and you're preaching to them. You're preaching to them. You're trying to like lead the way, and they don't listen. It's kind of like the whole Noah story, you know. Um, he told people. It's too late. So that's where the whole Noah came from.
That's awesome. Who do you consider as influences, those that have inspired you to be, become an artist, to become a hip hop artist?
Man, I'm so old school, man. Going right back to the first CD I got up in '88. But my parents wasn't on it like that, and my brother ended up giving me a CD when he was in high school, man. It was the Bone Thugs East 1999, my first CD, man. Um, you know, so Bone Thugs definitely one of my first. It's funny we bring up these influences because I got different influences from a lot of places. So like Nicki Minaj, man, is one of my influence, and I say her because she has a hard grind. If you look at her come up before she blew up to blow up, her grind, her effort that she put in. It's crazy to look at what was happening in the background. Y'all need to go do your research. So Nicki Minaj, Bone Thugs, man, Pastor Troy, Goody Mob, KRS-One, all the old ones, man. There's so many. I could just keep coming. Zero in Texas, ESG, DSG, Lil Kiki. There's so many, man. But yeah, shouts out to everybody, man. Screw, prayers up, man. There's so many people, man. Pimp C, Bun B, UGK. Man, my influences come from everywhere.
Very, very versatile. With a variety of artists. and what they bring to the table. Hip hop is definitely a form of expression, and at times it gets a bad rap because of what people say in their lyrics and things like that. But what people gotta understand is that, you know, people talk about, well, there are people that really, really talk about what they go through and people's experiences, and then there's people that tends to fabricate what they saying. People brag about what
Right.
people brag about. Well, look at this money I have. Look at the woman I get. Look at the cars I drive. And when you meet that person, when you get a closer look into that person, that's a phrase that gets thrown around. They ain't about that life.
Right.
And I guess, unfortunately, some people can easily see through it, and some people that don't, and they get buzzed, they get success anyway. That's uh, that's what's messing. I think that's one of the many things that's messing up in hip hop right now is that people fell into those who ain't talking about the stuff that they really are about. Um, you as an artist, and you hear the type of music that's out from all over this country, all over the world for that matter. Like, I mean, what's your take on people that goes that route? That artists talking about stuff that they're not really about.
Man, I dig, the art so much, you know what I'm saying? I can't, criticize anybody for what they talk, man, because, it's the grind behind them being, who they are now. That's the thing we come to respect, they wouldn't be at that level unless they grind so much. As far as, where the hip hop game is going, man, I dig it. And the only reason I dig it is because everybody has their own lane. I'm gonna say this to the death of me, man. You got Lil Yachty, you got Bruno Mars, which is totally out the box. You can even go with Rihanna, Drake, doing his own thing, man. Shout out to all them people, but they all have their own styles. You can't criticize, what they doing. But I really think it's the grind that's making them blow up. A lot of people wanna complain about, well, this guy is getting on the radio and this guy is, he blew up, and there's no way because he doesn't have the talent that I have. But the fact behind the matter is, they're taking time and doing the basics. These are things that I've had to come to understand over a few years, man. I'm only 3 years in the game right now, but my network and my grind is impeccable, and I'm trying to do everything I can to have everything I can have lined up to where I can be spent on the radio. Reason why people ain't being spent on the radio is because they ain't getting their songs encoded and, submitting it to, the performance rights organizations or whatever it might be. That's why people ain't getting paid. I mean, or plays or getting rotations. They don't want to sit there and go through that hardship. The labels now want to see you did this before they even want to touch you. So you're not investing in yourself that time to go do that. You just killing it. You can stay in the studio all day and you'll never be known.
That is true. It's just a matter of getting yourself out there. And with the technology that we have nowadays, there are more ways to get yourself out there. Social media is bigger than it is before.
Absolutely.
We're no longer in the MySpace days. There's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's all these digital sites, and that you can put your music out as well. It's just a matter of having the fan base. It's a matter of you wanting to put your music out there and telling people to tell people to get their music to get your music out as well.
Right. You want to pressure your audience.
Yeah, You definitely want to. I mean, you're not gonna get your music out by just making one post and just hope people listen. Like you gotta. Sometimes you gotta shove it down their throat. Sometimes. uh, so Uh, you gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. Uh,
Absolutely.
I want to talk about these songs that you sent me, and I'll start off with yoga and Pilates first.
All right.
What was it like working on this song, and what's it all about?
All right. So the yoga and Pilates track, man. This comes from I'm gonna put it to you this way. All right, my homeboy Keys be killing, man. He's one of the guys that took me under the wing when I first came into it. We up in the whole umbrella that's in Frankfurt, man. Starstruck Zoe, everybody. So, Keys was telling me, man, your tracks are gonna come from your experiences. So you gotta get out and experience a lot of things, and that way you can lay your track down and it'll be original, but you'll feel it like these are truthful things. So the yoga and Pilates track, man, one year, me and my best friend, he's my roommate right now, his name Uriah Simpson, man. He's part of the EA Loud board. Maybe I should have that to disclose. But either way, we go to Nashville, man. We go to Nashville, Tennessee, man. And I'm talking about we had ran into a lot of money from a few investors, and we went out on the town one night. And if anybody knows anything about Nashville, that it looks like New York at night, especially when it's hot. People are getting married down there, lots of clubs down there, packed streets. But I start off the track. I start that track off talking about, a club that I went in. My homeboy was throwing money. He was just giving money to these brides to be, I'm getting married, and he'd just give her like $100, just little things. So little mama shaking for a couple $100. Yeah, I'm getting digits and she want me to call her, busted wide open because she noticed I'm a baller. All up in my ear and I can have her how I want her. But either way, we go all the way through this night, man. And I'm talking about we did crazy stuff. And that whole track embodies that whole night, taking girls home back to the hotel. We was on the 10th floor, like his uncle, man, rented a little condo suite, 10th floor of the Omni. That's where that goes, The reference "Let's Get Drunk," that goes back to a track I have with a feature with Destiny Winners. She was she's signed now. She did a song with Red G called "Rich Together." It was produced by Bar None, and our song After Party was produced by Bar None also. So shouts out to Bar None, man. He's a Grammy-winning producer out in Nashville, man. But man, it just embodies the whole night of things that we did. You go back and listen through that track. Every single one of them events happened. Every single one. Everyone. So, I try to keep things original and truthful, to some sort.
That's definitely one of those songs you definitely gotta listen to and just, pay close attention to it, man. Like, people like the beat and people just, that's a nice joint, man. Like, it's going to really make people really get into yoga and Pilates at some point,
Man, look for that video coming out pretty soon, too, man. A video, we looking at shooting a video pretty soon, man.
And so, let's get into the backyard joint. What was the record and what's that song about?
So Backyard, the reason that song came out the way it did was because, I was sitting on that song for about 3 or 4 months, before I dropped it. I'm a firm believer in there is to know about your song when you go in there. I dropped that whole track. I'm able to perform that without stopping. It's written that way. And I this is a technique I pulled off Tech 9. He mentioned in one of his interviews, write your tracks. If it's a performance track, write it to how you don't have to take a breath. To where you can do it without having to pause or anything. But I did that whole track in one rip, man. Shout out to the Dojo Recording Studios for letting me put that down. Steve White, he knows who he is, man. But I laid that track down one whole rip. The whole concept behind this duality, man, is being right there. I've networked so much in this region, the tri-state region. I'm actually bringing stuff together. It's crazy that, we meet at this time because I have a documentary coming out. It's called the Mideast Music Launch, about everybody, the whole culture of the Midwest and what the things we need to do to get on. But that track is kind of about that, man. It's about being right there. We are right there, but we're not. If you listen to that track, when I start that track off, man, I come out because I got a little bit of bread. I had a little bit of bread, but it's not enough to go ahead and put yourself on. How do I come in? Man, thumbing through this check, like I see it now. Like I'm visualizing. In my head, I see it now, flying in the jet like octane coming out the tailpipe. My trunk popping, but it's sitting behind my headlight. Now back. When I say back, I'm not just talking about the car. I'm talking about let's bring it all the way back, down back to reality. Back. Guess I'm fronting on y'all. It's a whole duality. It goes back and forth from myself in the future to where I am now. That's what that track is about. It really encompasses that moment of being right here at the edge. We about to blow, man. We got Grammy-winning producers producing tracks for us. We networking. We actually building a whole name as the Midwest. We right here. All we gotta do is bring it together and do it, man. But it's just the duality of having it and not having it.
That definitely, it has an anthem feel to it. Definitely something that a lot of people can relate to, and I'm very happy to play that song. It's definitely gonna be one of those songs I put on with Pete.
I appreciate that.
So that's a hard joint right there. So all these songs. Are we talking about a mixtape or EP or full-length album? Like, what direction you trying to go in 2000?
So, man, I'm blessing you with these tracks, man, because you're the first one to put these up, man. And I wanted to do something special for you, man. And people need to really hear these, man. And I'm letting you break these because it's my break, right now. But those are singles. I'm officially going to release Backyard later on this month. You're going to see it on a few mixtapes. DJ Legit, DJ Slick. If you catch me in the club, the 23rd, Celebrities in Ohio. Well, I'm up here right now. But Cincinnati, Ohio, at Celebrities, man, I'm going to be up here for a show on the 23rd at 9 o'clock. I'm gonna do those joints. People love to party and people love to hear that realness and that pain and that music. So that's what I try to give to people. That originality, man.
So for people that wants to, get in touch with you, learn more about your work, why don't you go ahead and promote your social media links, or any other links people need to know?
Facebook, my Facebook, man, you're gonna look for the artist page Sensei Nowa. It's really in its upcoming its foundation. Everything. Sensei Nowa Twitter, Sensei Nowa Instagram. If you wanna book me, man, it's Sensei Nowa at gmail.com. But yeah, man, that's me. Sensei Nowa. Again, Sensei Nowa.
Awesome, man. And before I let you go, let's go ahead and talk about EA Loud, which is doing big things. And you're a part of it, obviously. Talk about EA Loud. What's that all about, and what's your involvement with EA Loud?
EA Loud is a platform for the underprivileged youth, and hold on one second. Yeah, it's for the underprivileged and at-risk youth. And what they do is they get kids off the street and into music, or we're keystones. We're keystones to where kids want to go, man. As being an adult, man, we know so many people in so many different professions. It's easier for us to network and or know somebody right off rip that a kid wants to get in their profession. So what we do is we just take kids and we link them up with other professions, especially music. We got last year we had the Kentucky Music Showcase, and that was done for the Central Music Academy. All the donations from that show was given back to the Central Music Academy, and that's just basically because that's what we do. We're artists, and we're trying to link kids up, get them off the street and into music. If they're doing music, they're not going to have time to focus on all the violence that happened. Look how many killings we done had in our own backyard, in our city. We got it right here in Lexington. We got hell of them, excuse my language, we got a lot of them in Louisville. We got some in Frankfurt. It's outrageous. People getting hooked on heroin. It's crazy. So we got to find a way to give back, and we gotta utilize our talents as artists. And this is why I tell anybody, you got to utilize your talent, whether it's being a football player, a basketball player, an artist. I don't care if you're a salesman, if you work at Metro PCS like myself. You got to use that to some degree and help people out. And make them not think about that day or their husband or whatever it might be, their school or the next kid, man. We really trying to give back, man. We really trying to give back out here, and that's what it's going to take, man. You can holler at us at ealoudhelps.com, or you can look for us on Facebook. We got a verified Facebook page. We're getting ready to get an Instagram. And we just also, something big for us. Shout out to Brian Siegel and Stephanie Siegel. They just got us into the DJJ, the Juvenile Detention Center. So, the Detention Center for Juvenile Justice, the DJJ. So, we're getting ready to go work for them. My involvement, myself, I'm a director of marketing and relations. I do a lot of networking, and I know a lot of DJs and stuff like that. So they asked me to come in and go reach out to people, see who wants to join. Go talk to these kids, see if they want to come and help. Let's go find some public figures to tie these kids, into whatever profession they want to get into. Last year, man, just somebody we helped out. There was a kid named C.J. Brownlee. He's from Frankfurt. He was in the preparatory school out there, man, and he wanted to get into clothing lines. So he had a little team of kids that wanted to do this with him. So I brought them to Influence. And, their name is Influence, but we brought them to E Loud and had them present. What do y'all want to do? What's your goals? Where y'all headed? That way we know what y'all want to do, and we can help y'all out. We gave them advice, and now they have a whole loathing getting ready to drop. They already got the promos out. And now, it's just taking over. They have a whole movement, man. They're about to holler at some celebrities. They got their own commercial that's getting ready to start airing, and you're probably going to see more of it on Facebook. it's somebody I would definitely like to get you linked up with, Kenny. That'd be a good look.
I'm all for it, man. I'm all about supporting the locals, whether it's music, clothing, business, whatever the case may be. And thank you for telling that story because it's good to see that local people can help out in a community in some shape or form, and they can make things happen. It's just a matter of who to go to. ealoudhelps.com is the website. Please go check that website out. Please reach out to Sensei and everyone else involved. And that's just heartwarming.
And
And
let me say one more thing, man.
mhm,
You know, everybody that's out here in the city, man,
yeah,
or in the tri-state that's helping out, man, that's big ups to y'all, man. Divine Karama, I gotta throw some people out there because
mhm,
a lot of stuff for the community, but a lot of artists are. We hopped out there. EA Loud jumps out. Divine Karama hops out. Then you get River Green that hops out. Now look who's coming. You got Struggle Team coming. Like everybody's starting to revert and actually starting to help out, man. It's starting to go from all this violence and whatever and whatnot to the positive side of things. We're slowly realizing that we got to come together. It's not and help out. These kids. The kids are what's gonna shape the future. So, shout out to everybody that's out there doing their thing with the kids, man. That's just, it's big ups, man. Oh, God got you. You ain't got to look for nothing from nobody. God is going to bless you. I'm going to tell you that right now.
that's an amen for sure. Definitely an amen. Devon Kawama, that's my hero on the local scene. I look up to that brother. River Green's making moves, not just as an artist, but within the community as well through his music. And EA Loud, I salute y'all for real. Um, it was great chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time. Continued success, and definitely keep in touch, man, for sure.
Love. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And, thank you for letting me play the songs for the first time. This has become that type of trend, man, because it seems like every other artist I get on the show, they give me music, and I'm the first to play these songs. So all you artists, keep the music coming, and I will play them for sure. Uh, be on the lookout for Backyard and Yoga and Pilates. Hear more of that songs real soon. You have a great night. Have a great weekend, man.
Yep. Yo, this Sensei Nowa rocking with Kenny Cummins, man. TMV Cafe Radio. You know what it is. Holla at your boy right here in your backyard.
Yeah, man. Have a great night, man. Have a great weekend.
Already.